connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Good morning, Idaho. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. Good to have you along on a Wednesday, everybody. I hope you're off to a great start, and we've got a lot to get to from our large team of neighborhood reporters collecting stories from around the region, more than anyone else in our marketplace, like our Riley Shoemaker bringing us a traumatic story out of Moscow, Idaho, where a University of Idaho frat member is seen beating a DoorDash driver into critical condition. The family now pushing for accountability that they haven't gotten yet. Plus, our Leslie Solis shares how a Nampa woman is honoring her best friend and longtime coach who's battling ALS, and how the community is coming together for a really special event we want to tell you about. That's all coming up, but first let's get the latest on our weather as you get ready to head out the door this morning. It's going to be a pretty nice day, although whenever it's windy, it seems like something new is coming in. Yeah, for sure, Roland. It's going to be a lot warmer to end the week, especially because it's been so cool and it felt a lot like fall over the past weekend. Now, that cool weather will return, and as we start to head deeper into October, this is the 14th through the 18th, so into next week, we're actually going to be cooler than normal to kick it off. Now, further off to our east, they are still going to look at some pretty warm conditions as they head into their October, but for even today, still that cool start, so you'll grab the light jacket for your morning. You've got 40s into 8 a.m. By the time we head into lunchtime, we'll still be nice and cool, upper 60s, but this afternoon, we actually start to touch more towards the 80s, and really, Roland, it's going to feel more like spring throughout the afternoons ahead. That's going to be a nice day. Thanks, Sophia. Appreciate it. We turn to the news now, and we begin with that brutal story out of Moscow. Our Riley Shoemaker has details on the now viral incident and sits down with the victim's family.
On screen, you can see the moments after a fight on Greek Row at the University of Idaho turns violent. For several minutes, two men go back and forth in the street. One of them, 26-year-old DoorDash driver Austin Dawson. It ends with him slammed into the ground and rushed to the hospital with a traumatic brain injury. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker. I spoke with his family, who says they're still waiting for an arrest.
The video, now widely circulating online, shows the fight intensifying as a crowd stands nearby. You see Austin Dawson, out making a DoorDash delivery, thrown to the ground, his head hitting the pavement as the other man, a member of the Phi Delta Theta fraternity, keeps punching. Moments later, the crowd scatters.
It's been really emotional. It's been pretty hard.
Austin's father, Adam Dawson, who lives in Nampa, tells me a group of sorority girls ran to help his son until first responders arrived. Austin suffered a traumatic brain injury and spent days in a medically induced coma. He's now awake and starting rehabilitation, relearning basic skills. His parents say it's been an emotional few weeks, to say the least.
He was just his side of death. I was afraid he was going to die the entire time. So, it's a lot.
Dawson says his son's friends were gaming online when the fight happened and accidentally recorded audio of the whole ordeal.
In the audio, you can hear the crowd react to him getting his head slammed on the curb. And then you can hear a couple seconds after that, somebody say, "Don't stop it." They continue to go for a couple more seconds. And Austin's face is all beat up in the front.
Dawson says he gave that recording to detectives who are also reviewing the video. In a press release, Moscow police say their investigation is ongoing, but as of now, no charges have been filed. The fraternity removed the individual involved and said the incident, quote, does not reflect our house or chapter.
The detectives need to make the right decision. The kid needs to be charged with something. It's attempted murder.
Austin's family says they're grateful he's alive, now beginning rehabilitation, but they won't stop pushing for accountability. In Boise, I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, Idaho News 6.
Also in Pullman, a suspect now in custody after police say he used an explosive device to intentionally set fire to his apartment building. The building is expected to be a total loss. The armed 40-year-old man later apprehended in northern Idaho after a 3-hour standoff on the highway.
We were aware that he was armed with a shotgun, and so we took things very cautiously and tried to de-escalate the situation to prevent him from being harmed or from first responders from being harmed.
Police say the suspect fired one round out the window, but they think it was an accident. He's being held in the Nez Perce County Jail awaiting extradition. The Red Cross has established a shelter at the Pullman Senior Center for those displaced by the fire. Another pretrial hearing today for the former Caldwell football coach and PE teacher accused of sexually abusing a child. As we reported back in June, Kip Crofts was indicted by a grand jury on charges of sexual abuse of a child under 16. The indictment accuses the 59-year-old Crofts of touching himself in front of a 14-year-old in December of 2024. That hearing is set for 1:30 p.m. at Canyon County Courthouse. The city of Nampa is gearing up for a major infrastructure project aimed at improving services in the northern part of the city. The city plans to extend the main sewer line along Ustick Road between Madison Road and Canada Road. The goal is to bring enhanced city services to nearby residents and support new developments in the area. Construction will start this winter near Treeline Avenue, and completion is expected in 2028. An open house will be held tonight from 4 to 6:30 at the Ora Brandt Park Plaza for residents to learn more about the project and ask any questions.
With billions of dollars in potential damages downriver, Idaho is continuing its aggressive fight to rid the Snake River of invasive quagga mussels. I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, and to do this, unfortunately, many underwater species took a major hit within the treatment zone.
It's the lesser of two evils is what we're dealing with here.
Going into the third round of treatment, the Idaho State Department of Agriculture knows the impact the copper-based chemical Natrix is having on the local fish and plant life populations, something they knew was a possibility from day one.
It's the price that's worth to pay versus the long-term chronic impact that potentially quagga mussels are going to cause downstream.
According to Idaho Fish and Game, the initial treatment killed off nearly 100% of the sturgeon population within the 6-mile treatment area, with most all other fish species seeing a similar fate.
We're going to take some fish. There's going to be fish mortality, there's going to be aquatic plant and algae community mortality within the river system, but having a profound impact, which is expected, and that means that the product is doing its intended purpose.
CPro is the company that makes Natrix, and Dr. West Bishop says leaving the river unattended would be a biological and economic disaster for the entire Pacific Northwest.
It is not ideal, the potential collateral we had in this section. However, if you look at it in a risk-based analysis, by doing nothing, we would potentially sacrifice the entire Snake and the rest of the Columbia River Basin.
Melissa Wagner is a professor with the College of Southern Idaho Aquaculture Program. She says many of the 74 fish hatcheries in the Magic Valley overlap last year's treatment area, and everyone in the fish farming industry is keeping a close eye on the quagga situation in the Snake.
So they can reproduce exponentially, and when they do, they kind of gunk up like pipes, outflows, anything like that, which could block, our water going out from hatcheries. It could block potentially water coming in if they get far enough. And we need that oxygen-rich water in order to keep our production going.
ISDA will continue the third round of treatment up into the end of this week. As for the fish, the majority of the mortality was stock species. Once ISDA has rid the Snake of quagga, restocking and repopulation efforts will take place. Reporting in Twin Falls, I'm your neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
In Minnesota, family and friends laying a fallen wildland firefighter to rest. As we reported, Isabella Oscarson was killed by a fallen tree in central Idaho last month. She was helping conduct a prescribed burn near Grangeville. Joe McCoy has the story.
One knot at a time, firefighters secure an American flag to their engine's ladder before hoisting it to the sky in honor of one of their own.
Really a great person, and she'll be sorely missed.
Family, friends, and first responders gathering at the Church of St. Charles Borromeo in St. Anthony to lay 26-year-old firefighter Isabella Oscarson to rest.
Her job was protecting life, property, and resources for both the citizens of Minnesota and Idaho and across the country.
William Gleasner is a wildfire operations supervisor with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources and had the pleasure of knowing the Watertown native.
She was a bubbly personality, always willing to step up and do what was necessary. Always had a smile on her face.
Oscarson is survived by her partner, Matt, her parents, and 3 siblings. Idaho Governor Brad Little previously ordered flags to be flown at half staff in her honor. When we get back, the latest on the government shutdown with growing impacts as it enters its second week, and the president threatening that some federal workers will not receive back pay. Hey everybody, we are back on a Wednesday morning. It's 12 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at your national headlines now this morning. Former FBI Director James Comey is expected to appear in a federal court in Alexandria, Virginia today for his arraignment. We reported earlier that Comey was charged with lying to Congress and obstruction of a criminal proceeding. The charges stem back to a 2020 congressional hearing where Comey testified about Russia's interference in the 2016 election. The criminal case comes days after President Donald Trump appeared to urge his attorney general to prosecute his perceived political enemies. Comey has denied the charges and will fight them in court. National Guard troops from Texas now stationed outside Chicago as the Trump administration moves forward with military deployments in major U.S. cities. The troops arrived at an Army Reserve Center in Illinois despite strong opposition from Democratic leaders and an ongoing lawsuit there. CNN reports the troops are receiving legal and crowd control training before getting a specific assignment. Similar Guard deployments are planned for Memphis and other cities. President Trump has said that crime is behind the deployments, despite data showing that he's wrong. The government shutdown is entering its second week with no end in sight. President Trump is threatening to mass fire federal workers and refuse back pay. Republicans and Democrats remain deadlocked over expiring health insurance subsidies, with each side believing they have the political upper hand. Behind the scenes, some senators are quietly discussing options to address the health care issues. Millions could face higher insurance rates if the subsidies expire. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has details from Washington.
This morning, the stalemate between Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill dragging on for more than a week, now impacting air travel across the country.
Is it because of the shutdown that you guys are going? It's for stopping.
Flight delays can be seen across the country as air traffic controllers call out sick, causing staffing issues and flight delays for millions of families. Overnight, Nashville's tower operating with extremely limited staff and causing some of its traffic to be handled by a team in Memphis. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association urging members to report to work, but say members must be able to pay their bills.
We work evening shifts. We work midnight shifts. We have single parents. And when you're not even able to afford the child care, those are going to be the very difficult decisions that are made.
In Washington, President Trump now signaling that some of the 750,000 furloughed federal workers may not receive back pay when the government reopens, even though it's a law he signed during his first term. The suggestion drew sharp bipartisan criticism.
The law is clear. Every single furloughed federal employee is entitled to back pay.
There's a lot of good, hardworking people out there. It's just I don't think that is helpful discussion right now. Let's get out of the shutdown.
Trump tried to soften the potential impact when questioned about it at the White House.
For the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way. Okay?
President Trump would not say which workers stand to lose that money, and that question is having a big impact on furloughed workers across the country.
If we don't get back pay, that's going to be devastating for a lot of folks, a lot of federal employees, because they're going to, they depend on that back pay money to catch up on their bills.
When the president was pressed about if he would repay federal workers post-shutdown, he said he would follow the law. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
In Nampa, how you can support neighbors battling ALS with some fall fun at Shindig Farms.
All right, happy Hump Day, Ketchum. You're our neighborhood of the day. Chilly morning to start. By this afternoon, plenty of sunshine, but you'll get those lower 60s as you head into the later end of the day. We'll be looking at unsettled weather moving through here this weekend. I'll have all the details ahead.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It's Hump Day, which means we're pretty close to our weekend. And as we head into our weekend, you're going to be thinking what's going on with our weather, specifically the afternoon. So take a look right now. We're already looking at temperatures climbing 28 degrees in Baker City, 11 over in Twin Falls, 4 in Glenns Ferry, 8 in Mountain Home. Right now, it still feels cool outside, so not very much change coming through our morning. It'll still feel pretty chilly regardless. You've got mid-40s along those valley floors, but into this afternoon, afternoon, upper 70s and mid 60s following along in our mountains. So it is getting a bit warmer, and it'll eventually start to feel more so like spring over the next couple days before we dramatically cool into next week. So take a look. 78 into today, tomorrow 82, 80 by Friday. So if you wanted to tan throughout the afternoon, you literally could, and it's fall. Now, by the time we head into Saturday, big temperature drop. We look at a cold front move through late evening, so that brings us to 61 Saturday afternoon, 56 into Sunday, and then those upper 50s take us both into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So let's take a look at what's happening right now. We have this trough slowly making its way down, and normally when you see that cooler weather maker, you expect cool weather, but because of the way the winds are shifted, we're getting a southwesterly flow, which is bringing up that warm and dry air. Now through the weekend, as this starts to make its way inland, that big cooler weather maker, it'll eventually push in, and as it does, that'll really bring us a big cool down by Saturday afternoon, bringing in rain and snow chances across our mountains. Now, snow will be very limited throughout our morning times, and then as you head into the afternoon, it'll turn more into that slush as things start to warm up out there. But either way, unsettled weather through Saturday, Sunday, and even possibly trickling into Monday. The cool air continues to move in, and as it does, that'll bring us down into those 50s. But take a look at all this rain it's going to bring the Pacific Northwest, even some high elevation snow. By next week, it looks like we'll see a drier pattern return into Wednesday, and mostly we'll just be left with some cooler weather. So do expect some chilly conditions heading into next week and some sweater weather, but for this week, it's going to feel more like springtime. Gusts will start to really ramp up as we head into this afternoon, sitting near 20 miles per hour. A little gustier off into eastern Oregon. Even into tomorrow, we start to see wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour in the Magic Valley, so gusty conditions into your Thursday and even Friday. If you were in McCall yesterday, it was still a nice day, though. You'll notice they've got nice blue skies, and that'll be the trend as you head into Thursday. That unsettled weather starts moving by Friday. It sticks with you Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday, with heavier rain chances looking heaviest into Saturday. Now you'll start to get that rain and snow mixture as temperatures cool throughout the morning to those mid-20s, and then throughout the afternoons you'll see those upper 40s. So do expect to pack the umbrella for heading out there this weekend. That means for game time, if you're heading out to the game, do pack the umbrella or rain poncho in case you get caught in some of these showers. It does kick off pretty cool, so you also want your real jacket, but you've got mid-50s heading into 7:45 halftime. You'll start to see those shower chances on the board, and hopefully we'll still be winning at that time. But by drive time, really that drive home, that's when we'll start to see a lot of that rain moving in. So again, just make sure you've got the umbrella on hand. That'll be something you want to carry with you through the weekend ahead. So I know rain chances look pretty minimal, but it's still something you want to watch out for. You've got mid-50s into your Sunday, big flip-flop from Friday to Sunday. Take a look at that, about 30-degree difference. And to next week, temperatures continue to stick with those 50s.
Lighting up a local farm in honor of those fighting ALS. I'm our neighborhood reporter Leslie Solis at Shindig Farm, learning how a local Nampa woman is honoring her best friend and longtime coach, who is now living with the disease.
One thing that I know about Justin is that Halloween is his favorite holiday.
That love for Halloween now carries a deeper meaning, one tied to a diagnosis that changed everything. On January 21st, Justin Garcia's life took a turn after noticing something felt off, and with his wife's urging, undergoing more tests, he was diagnosed with ALS at just 35 years old.
I miss the independence of not having the diagnosis, but I'm still here, and I'm still doing the day-to-day stuff.
Sarah Ho, Justin's lifelong friend, has made it her mission to raise that awareness even further.
Just like a pumpkin, ALS kind of carves the body away, carves a lot of life away. And the symbolism behind that is by lighting that pumpkin, it's just lighting that fire, knowing that the spirit within them is never going to dim, ever.
To honor Justin and others living with ALS, Sarah started the ALS Pumpkin Glow at Shindig Farm, a powerful event filled with light, love, and purpose.
I want them to be able to have a seed that's planted to know maybe what ALS is when they're lighting their next pumpkin each season.
If you want to take part in the Pumpkin Glow, it's all happening here at Shindig Farm on October 17th with pumpkins glowing at 7 p.m. I'm our neighborhood reporter Leslie Solis for Idaho News 6.
In Emmett, meet the neighbors leaning on each other to get healthier together. In Emmett, neighbors are leaning on each other to get healthier together, and they're being recognized for their hard work. I'm your Emmett neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, talking with the group about how accountability and community support keeps them motivated and moving forward. Every Wednesday morning in Emmett, you'll see this.
One nation, under God.
Neighbors like Barbara McLaren taking charge of their health together.
It's like a second part of your life when you've been with it so long.
Barbara joined the Take Off Pounds Sensibly, or TOPS, Emmett chapter back in 1974. And the local group was named Idaho's top chapter for total weight loss last year.
It's just wonderful as a group to achieve that loss, especially for the state.
The group does weekly weigh-ins, goal check-ins, and motivational programs that go beyond physical health. While seeing the number on the scale go down can be motivating, the group's overall mission is to create a safe space for people to support others in all aspects of life.
The camaraderie of the group is just something that's, I need myself, and I know that all the other girls here enjoy it too. I will take off pounds sensibly.
The Emmett TOPS chapter meets every Wednesday morning at the Gem County Rec Center and says the first meeting is free for anyone who wants to learn more. I'm your Emmett neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
All right, thanks for joining us this morning on Good Morning Idaho. We've got a lot more in store for our last half hour this morning, and here's what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
In Nampa, big plans ahead for CWI, what taking over the Ford Idaho Center could mean for campus growth.
In Garden City, John Evans is retiring after 20 years. What really got under his skin during that time?
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho, everybody. On a Wednesday, I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. It's good to have you with us today, and we've got a lot to get to from our large team of neighborhood reporters. Don Nelson, for instance, sitting down with longtime Garden City Mayor John Evans as he reflects on the highs and lows of 2 decades of public service. Plus, a story new this morning, our Greenlee Clark shows us the multi-million-dollar investment into fire protection with a new station set to be built in Eagle near Highway 55, and she's going to show us exactly how it's going to impact response times. But first, let's get the latest on our weather with Sophia Cruz this morning. Good morning, Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Roland, and happy hump day. We're through the middle of our week almost. So as we start to make our way through the middle of it, you'll notice the afternoons start to feel a lot different. In the morning times, it's still pretty cool. Take a look at our lows overnight. We hit 51 in Boise, so pretty warm for this time of year. 26 over in Stanley, cold up there, 36 in Ketchum. And as we continue to head into our morning together, the kiddos heading into the bus stop this morning will want the light jacket. You're kicking off your morning with about 49 heading into school. By the time you're coming home, still perfect for some outdoor activities. Sunshine, mid-70s, but we're actually getting a little closer to the 80s throughout the later afternoon ahead, and eventually it's going to start to feel more like spring, Roland.
And it's your Friday, too.
It is my Friday.
Lucky you, off the rest of the week. All right, thanks, Sophia. Appreciate it. Well, we turn now to the news and our Victoria Rodriguez, following up on Nampa City Council's big decision the other day to convey the Ford Idaho Center to the College of Western Idaho. She has more on what that means for the school's growth.
After months of meetings and 6 hours of public testimony Monday night, the Nampa City Council voted to transfer the Ford Idaho Center to the College of Western Idaho. I'm your neighborhood reporter, Victoria Rodriguez, learning what's next for CWI and how this could impact neighbors in Nampa. The transfer would give CWI control over one of the Treasure Valley's largest event venues, a space the city has managed for the last 20 years. CWI President Gordon Jones says the decision will make a major impact for the growing college, with an emphasis on preserving iconic events like the Snake River Stampede and equestrian competitions.
All these things we're thrilled to embrace and have be here in the CWI community, but serving the community at large.
Next steps include finalizing terms with the city before another council vote on October 20th. Jones says the move could double the size of CWI's campus.
This for me is a once-in-a-generational opportunity. We're a school as young as we are and yet serving over 31,000 students gets the opportunity to effectively double the size of our campus right here in Nampa.
Conversations will now continue between the city and CWI as they finalize the agreement in the next coming weeks. If all goes as planned, CWI's Board of Trustees could take up its final vote later this month. Reporting in Nampa, I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez for Idaho News 6.
For Idaho News 6, I'm senior reporter John Nelson. For 20 years, John Evans has been directing the future of Garden City. But now he says it's time for someone else to do that.
It's a kind of a family feeling.
John Evans is proud of his service as the mayor of Garden City.
That flag flew over the United States Capitol.
As a real estate developer, he felt he needed to give back to a community he loved. So he decided to run for mayor 20 years ago.
There's a duty. I've been blessed. I have experience. Garden City could take advantage of that experience. I think I could be a blessing to the city. So duty was one thing.
Evans never looked at the mayor's office as a bully pulpit where he could express his personal opinion and bias over things he had no control over.
My job is to make sure that your water comes on and is clean, that when you have to use the bathroom, that's all taken care of, that you have a great award-winning public library, that you can bring your kids to a puppet show, that when you call 911, a highly trained, competent police officer shows up on your door with the best response time in the valley at 2.5 minutes in an emergency. If you're doing something you like and you're seeing some success and accomplishing some things, you're seeing some things change that are blessing other people, then it's fun.
Reporting outside Garden City Hall, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson, Idaho News 6.
Athletic Club Boise will be Idaho's first high-level professional soccer team, and now it's added another high-profile name to its ownership group. Boise native and National Women's Soccer League star Sofia Huerta has bought in, calling it a, quote, easy decision.
Whether it's on the field or off, I know where I decide to put my energy really matters. And I'm at the point in my life where what fills me up is knowing that I've made a difference in the game that I love, that I've impacted this community, and I've inspired future generations.
Huerta currently plays for the Seattle Reign and starred in the U.S. women's national team at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup.
I believe to be it, you need to see it. And I want young players in this community, especially young girls, to know that there's a clear path for them.
Fan interest has been so high, the club set a USL record for season ticket deposits. AC Boise's men's team is expected to begin play next spring, with the women's team set to begin play in the fall of 2027. A new stadium is currently under construction on the site of the old Les Bois horse racing track in Garden City.
In just a few weeks, voters in Jerome County will have an opportunity to weigh in on funding for Valley School District. I'm your neighborhood reporter Lori in Nettleton in Hazleton to find out what's at stake with the $300,000 supplemental levy.
If the levy doesn't pass, there's potentially a loss of staff.
Voters in Jerome County's Valley School District have another opportunity to decide on a $300,000 supplemental levy renewal after rejecting it in the May election.
It could be anywhere from 3 to 4 positions up to maybe 5.
Superintendent Ty Jones said that the 2-year levy would fund teacher and staff salaries and benefits along with student travel expenses. If voters reject it, he expects the board to eliminate teachers, and travel for extracurricular activities like basketball and volleyball would likely be reduced as well.
It's not as black and white as some people might think, which can be frustrating when you're looking at it from the outside looking in.
And if they could show us this $50,000 went to do this or this something in money in black and white so we can see it, not a problem.
Judy Holland has lived in Hazleton a long time.
I loved going to Valley. My 6 kids went to Valley, loved it. My 3 grandsons hated it.
Holland told me why she's opposed to renewing the levy.
I don't mind paying my county taxes, my state taxes, and it goes to the schools. But they need to learn to manage their finances.
At an estimated annual cost of about $90 per $100,000 of assessed value, Holland admits the price isn't so sharp for owners of average homes in the district.
90% of it will be paid by your farmers.
If it's rejected by the voters, the district will have some pretty tough decisions to make.
Election day is on November 4th, but early voting runs October 20th through October 31st. I'm your neighborhood reporter, Lorian Nettleton, Idaho News 6.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood today at 6:38, and a big event in Meridian tonight with the 10th annual Witches Night Out. It is a spooky and spectacular fundraiser benefiting Faces of Hope with live music, vendors, raffles, and more. Plus, dress up as a witch or a warlock with prizes given to the best dressed. That's from 6 to 9 tonight on the corner of Eagle and Fairview. And also in Meridian, it's a Boise State rally to celebrate homecoming week at Shields. Come through for free yard signs while supplies last. Discounts on Bronco gear and autographs and photos with Buster Bronco and the Spirit Squad. That's from 6 to 7:30 tonight. And over in Sun Valley, the 29th annual Trailing of the Sheep Festival kicks off today. A lot of sheep celebrating the history and culture of sheep herding in Idaho and the West. The 5-day festival features, of course, the iconic Big Sheep Parade with 1,200 sheep trailing down Main Street in Ketchum, along with a multitude of other events and activities. We'll have full coverage of that for you through the weekend.
In Eagle, how a new joint fire station near Highway 55 could speed up response times in the Eagle foothills.
The Idaho News 6 Allergy Report is brought to you by Boise Valley Asthma and Allergy Clinic.
Major improvements on the allergy report. Sage still in the pollen types, but now in the moderate category and not in the extreme. We'll continue to monitor this as we head into our week together. I hope you all have a great day.
This empty lot near Highway 55 and Beacon Light Road in Eagle will soon be home to a new fire station for Eagle and BLM firefighters to share. I'm your Eagle neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, learning how this move will speed up response times and help meet the demands of a growing community. After 3 years of planning, Eagle Fire and the Bureau of Land Management are making a combined investment in safety, a facility designed to put crews closer to where fires start in the foothills.
We're looking for a better location to serve more people of the district.
The new station will be seasonal for BLM crews, but permanent for Eagle firefighters, replacing a spot near the edge of their district with one that has better access to Highway 55.
Cool part about us partnering with BLM is, one, our firefighters get to be matched with subject matter experts in the wildland world. That's what they do. It's what we do as well. But we're then working with somebody day in and day out that does that. And then also when those resources are in district, they're obviously a lot closer.
Right now, BLM crews are coming all the way from their field office here near the Boise airport. So let's see how long it takes. I'm testing out the drive on a Tuesday afternoon to see how long it takes to get to BLM's farthest boundary in the Eagle foothills, which takes them all the way to the Horseshoe Bend summit. From the BLM yard to here, it took 54 minutes.
And in this situation, we'll have 3 heavies out there and a battalion that will be able to be readily available to the community.
Covering around 100 square miles, the new location's access to the highway will also help crews navigate the heavy traffic and construction that's become a daily challenge in the area.
That station for us is really bringing back a response to a larger part of the population that we're actually serving.
This new Eagle Fire and BLM joint station is expected to break ground next spring, with construction expected to take 9 months. I'm your Eagle neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
In Boise Parks, how this device could save your life.
Okay, happy Wednesday, Ketchum, your neighborhood of the day. Pretty chilly throughout the morning, but this afternoon will be nice and cool. Plenty of sunshine, too, lower 60s. I'll be showing you the rest of the week coming up.
It's a device that can save lives, and Boise Parks and Recreation has them placed in strategic locations like this one at Ann Morrison Park. I'm your neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey, learning more about these special Wi-Fi enabled AEDs and an app that can help you find one nearby in an emergency. Sudden cardiac arrest affects thousands of Americans every year.
And AED use is the number one thing, second to only to compressions, that makes a difference early on in the process.
Division Chief Kurt Freeman with Boise Fire says seconds matter when someone is experiencing cardiac arrest, and automated external defibrillators known as AEDs can help people survive an often fatal situation.
We are seeing public AEDs being deployed. Currently in Boise, it happens probably about 8 to 10 times a year, but every year that number seems to go up.
AEDs are becoming more common in public spaces, so Boise Fire is using an app called PulsePoint AED to track the more than 600 devices in the county.
So those are in group homes, those are in businesses, those are in public buildings, they're all over the city.
With help from a grant, Boise Parks and Rec installed multiple AEDs in some of Boise's busiest parks.
For example, our Optimus Park location off Hill Road, we try to equip a lot of those busier locations where there's a lot of physical activity going on with defibrillators.
Some of those devices can connect to the city's Wi-Fi in parks, with the goal of eventually alerting first responders when one is deployed.
The technology is developing. We're not 100% to where it's linked in with the dispatch center like we'd like. We'd like to get there. That removing that AED would immediately notify dispatch. The key is that if someone gets bystander compressions or AED, their chances of survival double. So it makes a huge difference.
You can download PulsePoint AED from the App Store or Google Play Store for free. Reporting in Boise, I'm Brady Caskey for Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Rise and shine, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you, and also happy hump day. As we make our way through the end of the week, you're going to be like, what is going on with this weather? And we're about to break it all down for you. We're going on a bit of a temperature roller coaster, but as we head into next week, October 14th through the 18th, cooler than normal, so expect some cool weather to arise as we head into next week's forecast. But for this week, it's going to be pretty warm. Now, this afternoon, it'll start to feel a little bit more like spring. You could even probably tan if you wanted to. You've got those upper 70s in your valley floors, with mid to upper 60s following into your mountains. And as we move through the next couple days, notice you get warmer Thursday, 82, Friday 80. So it's going to feel a lot more like spring as we wrap up the work week together. By the end of, and really into the weekend, we've got 60s arriving Saturday, 50s into Sunday, upper 50s to continue kicking off next week. So let's take a look at what happens. We're getting this southwesterly flow from this trough that's moving just off to our west. As it starts to drive further into the south, that really brings up that warm, dry air to us. And so it's going to be a little warmer to end the week, but as we make our way into the weekend and as this starts to move inland, it brings in all this moisture and high elevation snow, mostly valley rain, into our weekend. So it's going to be a little bit unsettled. Even maybe into next week, we might see some rain chances trickling into the forecast. This cooler weather continues to dive in, and as it does, that's going to bring on those 50s into next week. And take a look at all that blue. That's some high elevation snow making its way back into the forecast. So a lot of our mountains will start to see a trickle of this, especially as things continue to cool down over the next couple of months. But the one thing you will notice today and tomorrow is that it's going to get pretty gusty. You'll see gusts up to 25 miles per hour into your Thursday afternoon, so do carry the hair tie, maybe some cap weather, or even a little extra hairspray for my ladies. Either way, it's still going to be a pretty good week ahead. It's just that unsettled weather arrives during our weekend. Now, McCall yesterday, either way, saw a nice blue day ahead of them. By the time you head into your Friday, that's when you'll see those chances of showers start to move in, but it really sticks with you through next Monday, looking heaviest both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, as temperatures cool below that freezing point, is when we start to see that rain and snow mixture. So it may start off as a little bit of snow, and then as things warm up, well, cool down even. But technically this will be warming up for snow. Either way, it'll bring on that chance of rain heading into your afternoon, and then you'll start to see some slushy snow out there. As far as accumulations go, it's not really what we would expect to be the heaviest or really much, but it is going to be there. So just about an inch as you head into your really Wednesday, maybe even next Thursday, it'll start to really dust into there. So just a heads up, if you do see some snow flurries, it's okay. It's just getting pretty cool out there. As far as precipitation goes, this goes all the way through next Wednesday, where we pick up anywhere from a quarter, just a little bit under an inch into those west central mountains. So a lot of the moisture focuses over our mountains, so rain chances still look minimal here, but we do see the cool down effects mid-50s into Sunday and cool weather to kick off our next work week. Okay, it is 6:51. We are going to go ahead now and get you ready for your morning commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
All right, it's pretty quiet over downtown right now, but commuters are starting to head out on this wonderful Wednesday morning. I-84 eastbound already congested, no surprises there, but as you start to take a look closer around our neighborhoods, this is what it looks like from what you can see on I-84 at Garrity. There it goes. Starting to look a little bit packed out there. So just a heads up for our Caldwell commuters. I know you guys are used to driving I-84 eastbound through the morning. It looks a little busier.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the prosecutor in the case against former NFL star Mark Sanchez speaking out.
The allegations became pretty clear that Mr. Sanchez was the aggressor.
Police say Sanchez attacked a delivery driver before being stabbed multiple times. Investigators tell ABC News upgraded charges are still a possibility.
Nothing that you've seen so far would merit or even begin to explain the level of violence that took place?
No. I mean, these are simple interactions and at most a simple disagreement over whether someone was permitted to park in a specific location.
Sanchez already facing a felony battery charge among additional misdemeanors. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the very latest on the case against Mark Sanchez. With your GMA First Look, I'm Matt Rivers, ABC News, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Well, it is 5 minutes before the hour on a Wednesday. Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho, and we're just wrapping up here. In case you missed it, here are the top stories that we're following from our neighborhood reporters.
A fight caught on camera on Greek Row at the University of Idaho leaves a 26-year-old with a traumatic brain injury, and his family is pushing for prosecutors to make an arrest.
The video, widely circulated on social media, shows Austin Dawson, a DoorDash driver in Moscow, slammed to the ground as the crowd watches. His father says Austin spent days in a medically induced coma, but is now awake and now in rehabilitation. Police say the case remains under investigation and no charges have been filed.
In Garden City, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson outside the City Hall here. For 20 years, John Evans has been directing Garden City's future. He's had a lot of highs, a few lows, but he'll tell you it was a lot of fun overall. But he says it's time to pass that baton on to someone else.
In Nampa, how you can support neighbors battling ALS with some fall fun at Shindig Farms. Justin Garcia's ALS diagnosis inspired friend Sarah Ho to create the ALS Pumpkin Glow event, spreading awareness and hope through Halloween tradition.
And of course, you can learn more about all these stories on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
6:57 is your time, and happy Wednesday to you as you make your way out for the morning. Nice and chilly to start off. By lunchtime, upper 60s, this afternoon 70s, and it'll start to feel a little bit more like spring. If you want to read more about the forecast, head on over to idahonews6.com. Otherwise, let's get you ready for your Wednesday morning.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
Okay, it is 6:57, and here's a live look of downtown, where if you're heading on I-84 eastbound and making your way there, you'll run into some slow up at Garrity. So just a heads up, as the sun starts to come up, so do those commuters, and most of the time our drive time. So here's what it looks like: very congested also on Carter Road as you start to make your way into that westbound lane. Some slowdown there too. Right now your drive time is about 42 minutes, and for it being 6:57, this is a pretty hefty commute time. So just a heads up, it is looking pretty busy there this morning. Along our neighborhoods, it doesn't look too bad, especially if you're making your way out near Meridian, whether it's near Franklin Road or Pine Avenue. Looks nice and quiet. Airport times, if you're heading from downtown Meridian to the airport at just under 16 minutes, still looks pretty good if you're going from the airport back into downtown. So nice green start for most of us this morning, Roland.
Yeah, getting to the airport is one thing. Getting on a plane these days, that'll be an interesting experience as well. You're gonna be maybe dealing with that, but it's, you know, hopefully everything goes smooth sailing for everyone as we get closer to the weekend because of the government shutdown. So
yeah, I'm going on a plane today, so.
All right, fingers crossed for Sophia. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on a Wednesday. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you later.